Hi students, how are you? In last class we have studied about the process of evaporation and condensation. Then we also study if we have a mixture of sand and salt, how we can separate the sand and salt. So what was the method? First add some water to the mixture of sand and salt. And what happened to the salt? Salt will dissolve in water. Then by decantation or by filtration, we can separate the sand. Then we get the salt and mixture of salt and water. Salt is dissolved in water. So how we can collect the salt from the water? For that we study add that salt solution in a kettle, boil it, and what happens when it boils? Water vapor goes up, and here you should keep a metal plate, keep some ice cubes above it so that the metal plate will be cool. And when the water vapor from the kettle comes and touches this, water vapor cools and condenses and changes into water drops, and that is collected in a beaker. This you have studied in last class in detail. So I know you know this process. Okay. Now after studying this process, our Paheli added a packet full of salt in a little amount of sand. So she mixed a packet full of salt with a little amount of sand. Then she added some water also. And now she do the same process. So by decantation or by filtration, she separated the sand. Then she collected the salt solution, boiled the salt solution, and collected the water in a beaker. And when she looked into the kettle, she saw that some salt was there, but she has added one packet full of salt. But when she collected the sand, she found that only half packet of salt is there. So what happened to the other half packet of salt? Where it has gone? So she found that she could recover only a small part of the salt that she had taken. So what is the reason? So before studying the reason, we can do one activity. So after doing that activity, you will get the reason for Paheli's problem. Okay. And in fourth lesson, we study about the solubility of substances. We study some substances dissolve in water, some are insoluble in water and all. So if some substance dissolve in water or dissolve in a liquid, we call that a solution. For example, if we add some salt in water, what happened? Salt will dissolve in water. After the salt dissolves in water, we call it salt solution. Or if we add some sugar to water, what happens? Sugar will dissolve in water. Then we call it as sugar solution. So what is a solution? Solution is prepared by dissolving a substance in a liquid. So solution is prepared by dissolving a substance in a liquid. So if sugar is dissolved in water, what we call it? We call it as sugar solution. Sugar solution. So solution means if a substance dissolved in a liquid, then that liquid is called as solution. So if sugar dissolved in water, we call that liquid as sugar solution. Okay. Now we can make a solution. So I have a glass and water is added to this glass. Now I am going to add some salt into this glass. So I am adding 1 spoon of salt into this glass. What happened to the salt? I am stirring it. So what happened to the salt? Salt will dissolve in this water. Okay. Then again I am adding 2nd spoon of salt. Again I am stirring it. So what happened? That salt is also dissolving in the water. Then again I am going to add third spoon of salt into this water and I am stirring it. So what happened? The salt is dissolving in the water. Then again I am adding the fourth spoon of salt. Again I am stirring it. But after this you can see this salt is not completely dissolving in water. You can see some amount of salt is settled down at the bottom. So this salt is not dissolving in water. So when I add 3 spoons dissolve in water. But when I add the fourth spoon, you can see that salt is not dissolving in water. It comes down and settle down at the bottom of the glass. So this quantity of water, I have this much water, this quantity of water can dissolve only 3 spoons of salt. It is not able to dissolve the fourth spoon of salt. So this solution, now again if I add 5th or 6th or 7th spoon, it won't dissolve in this water. It will settle down at the bottom. That means this solution cannot dissolve some more substance in it. So this is a solution in which no more of that salt can be dissolved. Okay, so that type of solutions are called saturated solution. So what we call that solution? That solutions are called saturated solution. So what is saturated solution? Saturated solution is a solution in which no more of that substance can be dissolved. So now we can say this is a saturated solution because it was we can see fourth spoon is not dissolving in water. Again if we add, it also won't dissolve in water. So this solution cannot dissolve any amount of salt again. So this is a saturated solution. Is it clear? So what is a saturated solution? Saturated solution is a solution in which no more of that substance can be dissolved. Okay. Now, did you understand what might have gone wrong when Paheli tried to recover large quantity of salt mixed with sand? So what will be the reason? She took one packet full of salt, but she added only a little amount of water and a half packet dissolved in water. After that, what happened? That solution became a saturated solution. So that quantity of water was not able to dissolve salt anymore. So half packet dissolved in the water. Other half packet, what happened? It remained along with the sand. So the some amount of salt remained undissolved and remained mixed with the sand and could not be recovered. So when she do the decantation, she poured the water. So half packet of the salt was mixed in water, so it go along with water. Other half packet remained along with the sand. So when she took that salt solution and boiled it, she was able to recover only half packet of salt. Other half packet was mixed with the sand. Okay. So now after studying about saturated solution, she understand what was the problem. Now, how could she solve her problem? One way is that adding more water to the saturated solution. So here this amount of water can dissolve only this much of 3 spoons or fourth spoon settle down at the bottom. You can see fourth spoon settle down at the bottom of the glass. So this amount of water can dissolve only 3 spoons of salt. Okay. So again, if I am adding 5th or 6th, what happen? That amount of salt will dissolve, will not dissolve. It will settle down at the bottom of the glass. Okay. So how we can make this salt to dissolve in this water? One method is to add some more water. So I am adding some more water into this saturated solution and stir it. So when we add more water, what happens? It can dissolve more amount of salt. So the 4th spoon was settled down at the bottom of the glass. But when I add some more water into this saturated solution, we can see that 4th spoon of salt that settled down at the bottom of the glass. What happened to that salt? We can see that salt dissolved in this water. So now what Paheli can do? She can add some more water. So she could solve her problem by using a larger quantity of water. So when I add more water, you can see that salt that was deposited at the bottom dissolved in this water. Okay, so one method to dissolve more salt or more substance in a saturated solution is to add more water. Okay, now without adding water, can we dissolve some more salt into this saturated solution? Yes, we can do it. So there are some other ways also that could be made to dissolve more salt before the solution gets saturated. So without adding more water, we can dissolve more salt in a saturated solution. Here we saw after adding more water, that salt was dissolved. But without adding more water, we can dissolve some more salt into that saturated solution. So that we can discuss in next class. So in next class, we can study how we can dissolve more salt in a saturated solution. Okay, so what is a saturated solution? Saturated solution is a solution in which no more of that substance can be dissolved. Such solution is called saturated solution. So one method to dissolve some more salt or substance is by adding some more water. But without adding water also, we can dissolve some more substance in that amount of water in that saturated solution itself. That method we can study in next class. Clear now? Okay.